My friends, have you ever seen a speedrun that was so amazing, so beyond what you were expecting, so out of left field that it simply left you in disbelief at what you just witnessed? Sometimes a lesser known speedrunner rising to the top and sniping an insane record can be truly surprising. And other times, even a great veteran speedrunner can score a record so remarkable that you're just left there in shock. In today's video, we're discussing 3 of the most surprising world records in the history of GoldenEye 007 speedrunning. Records that left me shocked when they were posted, and just why they were so extraordinary. So here we go.
Here we go!
But first, a huge thanks to the sponsor for this video, the remarkable game Fishing Clash. Indeed, every true gamer loves to take a break with some fishing every now and then. And what a better way than Fishing Clash, downloadable for iOS and Android with the link in my description. There are hundreds of different cool fish species to catch in-game, and you can collect and upgrade your rods and lures to get the coolest and biggest fish. There are well over a dozen fisheries or maps around the world to check out, and they are really quite beautiful. Especially New Zealand reminds me of the home of our old pal Captain Tanifa from a previous video. There are new events in the game every week to help keep things fresh, and you can play PvP through duels, challenges, tournaments, and championships. My speedrun pal Samo Sammy already challenged me to a duel, and it's gonna be epic. You can use my gift code I Love Fishing to get 130 pearls, 1 gold pack of lures, the Pro Florida license, and an exclusive avatar, all of which have an in-game value of $15. Just go here, then enter this code, bingo bango bongo, but it'll only be available until August 7th, so do not snooze and lose. You can download the game through the link in description to support my channel. So a huge thanks to Fishing Clash for sponsoring this video, and now on to the rest of the video. For even longtime viewers of this channel, Grags is the name of a speedrunner who you probably have never heard before. Speedrunning GoldenEye mostly from 2006 to 2010, Grags was a fellow who would be the first to agree he was not quite on the same level as his contemporary greats like Clemens, Ace, or Ilu. Perhaps demonstrated by his own admission that he took roughly 500 hours of play to achieve Damn Agent 53. A record that would become the most common in the game's history, and even back in 2007 when Grags became the 11th person to achieve the time, it still wasn't exactly a record one might expect to spend 500 hours playing for. Grags was also much older than his fellow GoldenEye speedrunners. At that time, when we were all in our teens or early 20s, Grags was open about his age, well into his mid-30s. And while it's not uncommon to see speedrunners of that age today, in the mid-2000s it was far more rare. If you think boomers on the internet are boomerish today, I tell you they took it to a whole new level back then. All that being said, Grags was indeed able to see the openings he had for potential records within his skill range, and was sometimes able to capitalize on these opportunities. He would achieve 5 total world records in his career, including the common Depot Agent 26, Runway Secret Agent 23, and aforementioned Damn Agent 53, but he would miss out on other very common world records for the time, such as Bunker 1 Agent 17 or Archives Agent 16. Sometime around summer 2007, Grags began playing the level Surface 2 Agent. A very straightforward level where you just strafe across the frozen tundra, throw a remote mine from very far away, detonate it with good timing, and hope it destroys the communications link located in the satellite building. It wasn't really well understood at the time, but the mine actually does pass through the unloaded wall of the building and blows up near enough to the communications link to successfully destroy it. The wall's actually more likely to unload the further you are away, which counterintuitively makes faster and further throws more likely to complete. It's unlikely Grags knew this at the time, but he went off and grinded in a way only a man capable of spending 500 hours on Damn Agent could do. On July 5th, 2007, after numerous close calls and heartbreaking runs, Grags became the 5th person to tie Surface 2 Agent 50. A nice record that, at the time, felt about as good as you could do on the stage. But not Grags. He felt that he could complete a slightly further mind throw and a slightly better warp, and after about a week of grinding, he indeed achieved the untied world record Surface 2 Agent 49 seconds. Fellow speedrunners were absolutely stunned by Grags pushing this stage even lower than they thought was possible, with many other top speedrunners at the time still having personal bests of 52 or 53 seconds, or even slower. And really no one was expecting Grags to go out there and get an untied world record of any kind. Clemens, who was actually one of the fellows with 50 as the former world record, made a now infamous post where he wrote that 49 was actually very good and predicted that it would remain untied for a very long time. However, hilariously, Clemens would play the stage 2 days later where he tied 49 in his very first session of attempts. Grags would never set another untied world record in the game, and his 49 would last as world record for about 3 years, until it became obsoleted thanks to the 2.x control style, and later the technique of R-leaning mind throws. But given the strategy used, it is still a very nice time, and a very surprising world record set by a journeyman of a speedrunner. Luke Pettit is a speedrunner who, over the past decade, has defined what it means to be a level specialist. Someone who really only focuses on one course or stage and sets world records there, but nowhere else. So one can imagine the surprise among the community when in October 2012, before Pettit had ever achieved any world record in the game, he revealed his very first world record on a very challenging stage where few runners had ever held a world record at all. Frigate Double Agent. This tied what was at the time an untied held by GoldenEye legend Dave Clemens. To this point, only 8 players had ever even held a share of the record on Frigate Double Agent, all legends or prolific players of the game. So Pettit had thrust himself into an illustrious group with the achievement of such a time. Now the catch with Frigate Double Agent is that the odds of getting all 5 hostages to complete Objective A by escaping fast enough are so incredibly low, once calculated at somewhere in the 1 in 10,000s, though with more knowledge nowadays this has been adjusted to be somewhere in the 1 in 1,000s or even 1 in high hundreds. But still, it's not a level where you frequently get completions near world record speed. And this doesn't mean that Pettit just got a lucky run, as 106 pace is not easy to come by consistently, which is necessary to give yourself even a chance at completing a run when you do get the fortuitous luck. The traditional way to play Frigate Double Agent would be maybe playing an hour or 2 per session on and off over the course of years in order to get a near world record completion. So while Pettit's 106 was surprising, many figured that perhaps he had been grinding the stage for a very long time in order to finally notch the world record. However, what Pettit would reveal a week later would be truly shocking. On November 4, 2012, Pettit posted another Frigate Double Agent completion, this time a 105 untied world record. Many in the community were simply in disbelief that this relatively unknown player was able to get 2 world record completions on Frigate Double Agent in a single week. Not because it was suspicious or anything like that, but just because it was too shocking. Many experienced players had played the stage for hundreds of hours without a single completion at that speed, and simply couldn't believe that lightning struck twice for Pettit. But Pettit went above and beyond in proving the legitimacy of the record by uploading his entire session video upon request, clearly demonstrating consistent skill in executing fast frigate runs, which obviously goes a long way towards capitalizing on runs when the luck finally comes together. In the years since, Pettit has continued to set world records on Frigate, including his 58-second time on Secret Agent, the longest standing untied in the game at the time of uploading this video. And to be honest, I think it wouldn't be shocking at all if, when 58 finally gets tied, for Pettit to show up and post a 57-second time shortly thereafter. I mean, it would be shocking, but the shocking has become the expected when it comes to Luke Pettit on Frigate. Runway Secret Agent is a stage that I've never really delved into on this channel, despite covering its sister stage, Runway Agent, a number of times. Runway Agent is a stage where you simply pick up this key, then run to the ending to escape in a plane, and self-boost with grenades up to 8 or 9 times while doing so. Now, the main difference on Secret Agent is an additional objective, destroying the missile battery, which is this thing over here. This extra objective doesn't quite take a full second to complete. However, the Secret Agent record has, historically, been 1 second slower than the Agent record. For example, throughout most of the 2000s, the Agent record was 22 seconds, with most 22s clocking in around 22.8 or 22.9 seconds. And the extra objective definitely did take more than a few tenths of a second to complete, which ensured the Secret Agent record would remain at 23 seconds. Or so we thought. Around the year 2010, the use of the 2.x control styles began to become more commonplace, as you'd be able to start levels in full speed, saving about 1/3 of a second. This wasn't originally used on most levels, however, as playing with 2 controllers can be very awkward, and most hadn't mastered this skill yet, resulting in often losing that 1/3 of a second or more which you stood to gain. This didn't stop GoldenEye legend Big Boss Man, however, who decided to learn the control style on Runway Secret Agent, hoping it would be enough to make 22 possible. It didn't at first, as his runs were still 23 pace, even with that 1/3 of a second saved. You see, another disadvantage on Runway Secret Agent is that because you have to spend time throwing the grenade at the battery, there's this dead time where you can't be self-boosting, since you're holding Z to prime the battery nade throw instead, and taking damage while priming the grenade results in you tossing it early, failing the grenade throw. However, Boss came up with an incredible strategy innovation in which he would perform the entire runway stretch in right strafe, rather than the usual left, and use a high arcing throw with a very slight turn at the throw, a throw which was indeed able to land on the battery and complete the objective. Of course, this saved 1 strafe change into the hut, 1/10 or 2 of a second, and was enough for him to pace 22 seconds on the stage. All this time, however, no one really knew that he was going for the record, and just imagined it as some kind of unfathomable, far-fetched, theoretical record that probably would never happen. So on June 20th, 2012, when Boss posted his speedrun of Runway Secret Agent 22 seconds, the entire community was truly shocked and stunned at this magnificent completion. When you think of a shocking world record, you might not think of one being performed by one of the game's all-time great speedrunners, but this run was simply so insane, so unexpected, and so truly remarkable that it absolutely was one of the most surprising world records ever revealed in GoldenEye speedrunning. This was Boss's 94th career untied world record, and he's only set 3 more in the years since. It still stands to this day, having been tied by 46 others so far, and will go down in history as one of Boss's final iconic records. 21 seconds has happened on Agent in recent times, however, so one can only wonder, my friends, is Runway Secret Agent 21 possible? Perhaps that question will be answered another time, because that's all for today's video. 3 of the most shocking, stunning, and surprising records ever achieved in GoldenEye 007 speedrunning. A big thanks as always for watching, and remember to check out Fishing Clash with my link in the description for some summertime fun. I'll be playing, and it could be a good time with some fun memes to see who can catch the biggest fish. Remember to subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a new video. In the meantime, stay true, and I'll see you in the next stream or video.